What's up everyone? Welcome back to another World of Warcraft Season of Discovery guide. I'm Severingo, and today we'll be going over how to quickly and easily solo Mara Princess and Wild Offering runs as a Druid in order to obtain some best in slot gear, either for you or your friends from a safe spot, plus make some great gold to boot if you're an enchanter. Let's jump right into it. First and foremost, you're going to need the Mara Sceptre that allows you to skip a majority of the very large dungeon. There are great videos on YouTube explaining how to acquire it. It can be done as a 2-man. I dual boxed it on my Rogue and Druid on 2 monitors, so it's not super challenging, but put together a group and quickly get it done. For talents, the thing that makes this run so easy is Feline Swiftness. The other talents really just affect the speed in which you can down the bosses. I put 5 points into Feral Instincts for better stealth to help prevent getting knocked out when running to the end of the instance. And then in the balance tree, I go Natural Shapeshifter so you can shift into cat more often, Natural Weapons after the buff so it causes 10% damage increase across the board, Improved Moonfire, Vengeance, Moonglow, and Nature's Grace. Nature's Reach is really nice to have as well. Gear isn't super important either. If you did loops and groups until Honored, you can rock something like the Emerald Warden balance set. The main thing is just having enough mana, because there are times when you want to heal yourself or shift into cat form in order to create more distance if necessary. Any extra will just be used to cast rank 8 and rank 7 Moonfire. As for runes, not super important, but for Princess, I run Improved Barkskin to pop before she throws a boulder, giving me a 20% damage reduction. Survival of the Fittest for more damage mitigation. You won't be casting Wrath because she's immune to nature damage. Improved Frenzied Regen because you can cast it in cat form to use energy to heal yourself up while running. Wild Growth to heal, although it is mana intensive, I find it to be really nice to use in sketchier situations. Star Surge, which you will be casting pretty much on cooldown, and Dream State. The only consumable that I really recommend bringing are mana potions because they speed things up a lot. An optional trinket you could bring is the rank 5 Greater Insignia of the Alliance because it allows you to get out of a knockdown quicker when she throws a boulder, but it really isn't necessary at all. You can also bring things like engineering bombs, target dummies, or MP5 food like Nightfin soup, but again, none of these are necessary and only marginally speed things up. Now that that's all out of the way, let's jump into the run and do it in real time. I will stop a few times to give examples of reset spots in case you accidentally pull some mobs, and also showcase an area that you can have other characters sit in order to be in range of Master Loot. Alrighty, here we are in the Valley of Spears. Make your way to the entrance here. The mobs are really low level, so it's not a big deal if you aggro some. Open up the door. Head down all the way until you reach the area with the orange and purple sides. You can either walk down this hallway in the middle or hit the left and then jump off the bridge to reach this room. This is where you can use your Sceptre to create the portal that'll spit you out in the area where the run begins. Before we get into the run, if you have a friend or other account with a character that needs something from Princess, there's an area right here at the entrance in this little nook that puts you in range of Master Loot in order to get items like the Blackstone Ring or the Blade of Eternal Darkness. I was able to get my other characters the Blackstone Ring this way. Also, if you or one of the characters who sits here is an enchanter, you can make amazing gold by disenchanting the Charstone Dirk, as it has a 100% chance to turn into a large brilliant shard, and those are worth a lot because they're used in many of the best enchants available. One side note, you saw the Hydra that I walked past and put a skull on? It will tend to aggro, especially if you have a lower level character there, but you can either kill him, or if it's just a one-off, you can just have the character die and you can still Master Loot to them, as long as they don't release. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and aggro these mobs here to showcase the first reset spot. Jump right behind this rock here, and then once you're in a reset spot, you can actually start logging out because sometimes mobs will get stuck on continually aggroing because you're close to their aggro range. It's not typically necessary, but it's just something I want to highlight. As you can see, they reset and I didn't have to log out because they didn't get stuck on me. Feline Swiftness now works indoors as well, which makes this so much nicer. If you don't trust yourself, just stay in stealth the whole way, but I like to kind of break it up just so I can get through it faster. There are patrols, but I've never been knocked out of stealth, so I don't really think it's a huge issue. The second and more important reset spot, in case things get hairy with Princess, or if you accidentally pull one of these massive giants, is coming up here. It's going to be the boulder on the right-hand side at the end of this bridge. Similar to the other safe spot, I go ahead and pull both Princess and the giant back here just to showcase what it looks like. Hopping right up here allows you to immediately start logging out. Both, I believe, have ranged attacks. I know Princess throws a boulder, so you can still be damaged. So it's best to just be safe and log out, because sometimes her pathing might be right by the boulder and she'll continually re-aggro. Finally, it's time to down this old battle axe. Ensure you have the right rune set up, and then it's good to go. Overall strategy is to keep distance with Feline Swiftness, cast Star Surge as often as you can, cast one rank 8 Moonfire, and then if you have extra mana, you can spam Moonfire rank 7 so the dot doesn't keep resetting from your first one. You can range her boulders if you're far enough. I like to precast Barkskin when I see the cast going off and I'm in range. If you get low and have mana, feel free to use Wild Growth. If you are low and want to conserve mana, use Frenzied Regen while kiting in cat form, because energy will continue to go up and you will get a full heal every 3 minutes. If she gets too close, there is a way to cause her to micro evade and stop in place by jumping against the slanted walls. Be careful with doing this too often, because her health can reset to 100%. Typically, I see that happen when she boulders you mid-jump, so you're evading her for too long. But with Feline Swiftness, it's rarely necessary, and it's just something nice to have in your back pocket in case she does get too close. I'm a big proponent of pot early, pot often. When I'm around 50% mana, I'll usually go for the first one. As you can see here, I go ahead and precast Barkskin. And here's some more wall jumps just to create a little bit more distance. Right here I'm low on mana, so I decide to use Frenzied Regen, and then I pop Innervate. Dash can be used to create even more distance, and when you're sitting in cat form, it's nice to just MP5. I'm going to go ahead and speed it up a little bit again because it's just Ring Around the Rosy. Still pre-popping Barkskin. Not super necessary, but I like to do it. Here's an example of me ranging the boulder. And that's the fight. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward a lot now. When you get her low enough, she starts moving a lot slower. And at this point, you can start casting Starfire. And down she goes. It only took me 11 tries to get the dagger. Let me know in the comments how many it takes you. Next up, it's time for the Wild Offering. Make sure you have the item in your bags that allows you to unstealth them. Before you go into the fight, you have to swap your glove rune out for Sunfire, and you're going to be kiting Ring Around the Rosy style in cat form the entire time. If you want to speed things up slightly, you can swap your boot rune for King of the Jungle because it allows you to get a little bit of extra energy every 30 seconds. The general strategy is to spam Sunfire, and then you can unshift in order to cast Star Surge and Moonfire for the dot. Feel free to throw a Fairy Fire on him, and just keep distance with Feline Swiftness. I like to use the big rock on the left side of the room to get a little bit more distance, and I'll show you how I do that shortly. Other than that, it's a slow, easy fight, not much else to it. Here's what I mean about utilizing this rock in order to get a little bit more distance. You can do the same with this tinier one. Here's where I start unshifting and casting Star Surge and Moonfire. Once you have those up, just reshift and keep the distance between you two. Do the same thing over and over again until you down him. When you're done, you can either log out on the small mound where Zaytar's spirit is, or jump into the water and log out there. Upon logging back in, you should be on the purple side entrance. I like to start out in stealth because I'm on a PvP server and there's 10 mans doing these. Go ahead and reset the instance, and then you can make your way back through this corridor, jump off the ledge, and then you're right back at the Sceptre room. Time to do it all over again. One final note, if it spits you out when you log back in this area, just go back into the water behind you and log out the same way that you saw me log out originally. Upon logging back in, you should be at the purple entrance. And there you have it. Thanks so much for tuning in. For anyone who's watched my videos previously, real life kind of got in the way recently, so I haven't been able to make the videos I've wanted to, like a Sunken Temple guide. Feral especially has been really fun for me this phase, but in terms of videos, I've come to the conclusion that I'd rather put out quality ones that take more time than rushing something out just for the sake of getting it out sooner. So that's all I got for you for now. Good luck in there. I hope to see you guys again in my next video. Peace.